Nobody warns you when a live interview is about to completely fall apart. 1 second everyone's smiling, the cameras are rolling, the questions are polite, then something shifts, and what happens next becomes the only thing anyone remembers about that day. These are the moments that remind us that fame doesn't come with a mute button. Let's start with the one that genuinely changed the way people watch awards shows. March 2022, the Oscars. Chris Rock steps up to the mic, makes a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head. Will Smith, sitting in the front row, walks onto the stage and slaps him across the face in front of every camera in the room.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
Rock takes it, barely flinches, and keeps the show moving. Smith goes back to his seat. Seconds later, from across the auditorium, you can hear him screaming at Rock to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. Nobody in that room knew what to do. Nobody at home knew what to do. The entire ceremony just kept going because it had no other option.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
That slap hit a lot harder than anyone expected, and not just physically. But losing control on live television didn't start with Will Smith. Go back a little further and you find some moments that were just as explosive, just less documented at the time. Jim Everett was an NFL quarterback who had gotten used to sports broadcaster Jim Rome calling him by a woman's name on air as a running insult, a joke Rome thought was funny enough to keep making. Everett sat down for a live interview and warned Rome at the start, clearly and calmly, that the nickname wasn't going to fly. Rome smiled and did it again anyway. Almost immediately, Everett stood up, grabbed the table between them, flipped it, and lunged across the set at him. The segment ended right there abruptly, with Rome's security stepping in.
Jim, good to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Jim. Thank you.
Check that. Chris Everett, good to have you on the show.
You know what? You've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
About 2 years, actually, Chris.
Well, hey, you know, we're sitting here right now, and if you guys want to take a station break, you can. But if you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time...
I already did it twice.
If you call it one more time, we better take a station break. I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
The moment became a lesson in what happens when someone finally reaches the end of their patience and stops caring entirely about what's appropriate for television. Quentin Tarantino has never had much patience for what he considers stupid questions. During a press interview where a journalist kept pushing him to discuss whether violent movies cause real-world violence, Tarantino didn't dodge it politely.
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master. You can't make me dance to your tune.
I'm
not a monkey. Because I'm here to sell my movie. This is a commercial for the movie, make no mistake. And you know where I stand on it.
Which is that there's no relationship.
Yes.
But you haven't said why you think there's no relationship.
It's none of your damn business what I think about that. And I have explained it. And I have explained even what you're talking about. I'm just not giving it to you.
Why?
Because I don't want to, because I've done it already.
He stopped the interview, looked directly at the camera, and said he'd answered that question 100 times and wasn't going to do it again. He said it with the energy of someone who has been asked the same thing for 30 years and is genuinely done hearing it. Burt Reynolds and talk show host Mark Summers somehow ended up in a full-on argument that involved water being thrown during a broadcast. What started as an already tense interview just kept escalating until things went physical in the most unexpected way possible.
My wife tells me that often.
She says, good morning.
I'm still married, as a matter of fact.
Yes, well, you...
The whole thing unraveled so fast that nobody in the studio seemed to have a plan for what to do about it. The Bee Gees had an interview with British comedian Clive Anderson that went from awkward to hostile to fully over within the span of a few minutes. Anderson kept making jokes at the band's expense, seemingly either unaware or completely unbothered by exactly how much they weren't finding it funny. One by one, each of the brothers decided they were done, stood up, and left the set without a word of warning. The last one to go made it very clear on his way out the door how he felt about the entire experience, pointing at Anderson and telling the room what he thought of him.
In fact, I might just leave.
Yeah. Oh, I've never had anyone walk out before, but...
Well, we are.
Toss up, pal.
So anyway,
everybody.
Anderson sat there and tried to finish the segment alone, which somehow made it even more uncomfortable. Kim Woodburn from Celebrity Big Brother gave viewers one of the most chaotic arguments ever broadcast on UK reality television when a dispute with a fellow housemate escalated into something nobody in the production could contain. What started as everyday house tension turned into a full screaming confrontation that went on long enough to make everyone watching deeply uncomfortable.
When you had, excuse me, and you're an adulterer that two-times your wife, and she's got...
The producers let it run. The cameras kept rolling. It's still regularly rewatched as one of the examples of what happens when you put real people under real pressure and give them absolutely nowhere to go. Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler gave the world what looked like one of the most heated confrontations in talk show history. On Late Night with David Letterman, they got into an argument so intense that Lawler slapped Kaufman out of his chair on live television. Kaufman came back cursing.
We're going to pause here for station identification, get the hoses out here.
Letterman sat there looking like a man who regretted scheduling this booking, and the audience wasn't sure whether to be horrified or entertained. Years later, it came out the whole thing had been planned from the start. Didn't matter. It felt completely real, and that's all anyone took home. Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier were already two of the most intense rivals in sports history when they sat down together in a TV studio. Whatever the producers expected, it was not what they got. The two men went at each other verbally, then physically, right there on camera. Two legends who genuinely couldn't be in the same room without the temperature spiking immediately.
Why do you think I'm leaving? So the brothers are here. Doing this too? No. Step down quick, Joe!
Well, we're having a scene, as you can see, and it's hard to tell whether it's...
The moment felt less like television and more like something that had been building for years, and finally just found an exit. R. Kelly was doing a press interview to promote music when the journalist asked him about his legal history and ongoing allegations. He didn't take it well. He told her she had one more question. She kept going. He talked over her. She talked over him.
Robert.
30 years of my career! Y'all trying to kill me! You killing me, man! This is not about music!
For about a full minute, neither of them was listening while both were still speaking, creating the kind of audio chaos that's uncomfortable to watch even years later. Shannon Tweed reached her limit during a joint interview with Gene Simmons, where Simmons casually joked about his history of being with thousands of women. Tweed, who had been with him for years, ripped off her microphone and walked straight off the set. Simmons called after her calmly, like someone who had watched this happen before and had already calculated it wasn't the worst outcome of the evening. She didn't come back. Robert Downey Jr. sat down with journalist Krishnan Guru Murthy for what was supposed to be a standard film promotion interview. Guru Murthy started steering questions toward Downey's past, his personal struggles, the harder chapters of his life. Downey, who had clearly decided long ago which parts of himself he was willing to discuss on camera and which parts he wasn't, let it go for a while. Then he stood up, announced the interview was over in the way that left no room for debate, and walked out. His publicist in the background waved the cameras down. The clip spread fast, and the debate about who was wrong in that room has never really settled. What all of these moments share is the same thing. The camera was on, the mic was hot, and something real happened that no handler or edit could pull back. That's what makes them impossible to forget. What's your favorite celebrity moment where someone completely lost control on camera? Drop it in the comments, and if you want more deep dives like this one, subscribe right now so you never miss one.